Neither party's official platform, in my opinion, is good on Palestine. I don't think either party right now is doing justice to Palestinians. That doesn't mean that they're the same. I think that a Donald Trump presidency would be absolutely catastrophic. I mean, he's coming out here saying finish the job of a genocide.
There's a lot of people with our politics that are having a hard time getting there in terms of supporting Kamala Harris. How do you think we help them get there in November to beat Trump?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think, first of all, it's important to emphasize how valid it is. We're looking at over 40,000 Palestinians that have died under Israeli bombardment. And the current U.S. administration has been continued to provide weapons to Israel that have been dropping on innocent Gazans. To me, when I process this, I weigh through all of the people living under extreme levels of oppression, especially outside of places even like New York. I think about the women that are bleeding out in ER rooms because they live in red states. I think about trans kids that are living in places where their entire families are trying to figure out if they need to pack up their entire lives and move somewhere else. We have to hold all of those things at once. And so to me, the conclusion that I've come to is having more people suffer to put on top of the already horrific suffering that's going on in Gaza is not something that I think I'm comfortable with.
Yeah, I mean, this is the calculation that's it. This is the liberal calculation on the matter. This like, no, it isn't. Liberals completely ignore it. No, ultimately, the pro-Palestinian liberals also fucking make this calculation. This is what they say. Who's going to be better, Trump or Kamala Harris? Or at least Kamala Harris is better on domestic policies than Donald Trump. I get this calculation. I understand it. If that's the calculation that you want to make, go off, kings and queens. Okay? I'm not going to sit here and be like, don't vote for Kamala Harris. Okay? I will, however, say that at the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break. And if you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe for $6 or for free with Twitch Prime. It is the lesser evil. Okay? It is the lesser evil. Top of the hour ad break, greater evil. $6 subscription or a free one in the form of a Twitch Prime, lesser evil. Why doesn't she focus on criticizing the current admin? It's always just Trump bad because she's a part of the Democratic Party. That is what it is. And you know how the Democratic Party operates. You know how they approach the matter. Feels like they're using the trans community against the Palestinian community. Careers are pro-Palestine. This is lib co-opting. Yeah. No, it is. It's ridiculous, I think. I mean, it's ridiculous electorally. It's unconscionable morally. It's definitely illegal. Okay. Today marks 701 IDF soldiers killed in the 10 months as the war started. 701 is the same amount of soldiers killed in 18 years of war and occupation with Lebanon from 1982 to 2000. It's almost impressive how this campaign is a failure on literally every strategic and tactical front, except for when it comes to murdering Palestinian babies. Yeah. Straight up. Straight up. Israel's economy is in the shitter. Israel's ports are fucking bankrupt. The Israeli society is in a state of utter panic. They're fucking fleeing. They're leaving the goddamn country. Israeli soldiers are getting fucking slaughtered by dudes who made like makeshift bathtub rocket launchers and shit. And it's like, no, we just got to keep it going, baby. We got to keep it fucking going, baby. We got to do it. It just doesn't make any dang sense. Unless, like I tweeted out the other day, you think about how the Democratic Party is approaching the subject matter with the utmost fear, okay? With the amount of fucking fear that I've just, I expect from the Democratic Party, but even this is like a new low for them, honestly. What do I mean by this? Well, there was someone who asked, like, why the fuck don't they do this, right? Eldon Kotz says, honest question, why are Democrats so scared of cutting off weapons for Israel? It's so obviously the right thing to do, both morally and politically. So what are they afraid that would happen? And one answer is, it's because they're evil people and they're bad and they want to do bad things. Okay? Which, I can understand how you would arrive at such a conclusion. I try to be a little bit more, analytical, a little bit more critical about this, okay? And my estimation is they're scared of big donors, not just AIPAC, but other big donors who are also genuinely up Israel's asshole, okay? Because remember, Israel has a shit ton of companies on the American stock market, okay? Like an unimaginable number of companies, like more than fucking like India and multiple other nations combined, okay? We are directly tied to Israel economically, financially. So there's that. And there's a lot of people who would be very upset if that was disrupted. Okay. Number two, the media onslaught, much worse than Afghanistan withdrawal with 70 days left to campaign. I think that the media is, of course, incredibly ultra-Zionist. Like Western media is terribly ultra-Zionist. That's precisely the reason why they changed the calculation as soon as Israel started striking Lebanon. They were like doing the exact same fucking thing that they were doing for Palestinian babies, but this time for Lebanon. They were like, oh, well, you don't understand. They were asking for it. Okay, here, let me contextualize why Israel had to do a preemptive strike. Okay? And I think that they are fearful that right now the media is playing ball with the Kamala campaign. Okay? They're playing ball with the Kamala campaign. It's vibes based. They're fucking great. They're, oh, it's breast summer, all this stuff. Okay? They are fearful that immediately all the coverage would be about how unimaginably anti-Semitic the Kamala Harris campaign is. It's the most anti-Semitic campaign. It's basically worse than Adolf Hitler. Okay? That's what you would hear. Van Jones would literally say Kamala Harris has that Hitler gene in her. Okay? And I think that that's what they're afraid of. Okay? And then obviously they're worried that they would get bogged down by cynical smears of anti-Semitism. It would turn into like a Corbyn campaign, Every question is like, I don't care about your fucking policies. Tell me why you're the biggest anti-Semite. And last but not least, seemingly rewarding Hamas for October 7 by capitulating to their demands. I think those are like, this is it. These are the four major points as to why. These are the four major points as to why they are legitimately afraid. The other cynical calculation that they're making is that people don't give a fuck. Okay? It was a blip. There was a brief moment where people were like lasered in on this, but no one can pay attention to anything really in the American media cycle for extended periods of time. And now that the Kamala momentum is there, they just don't think that people give a shit enough. Like they have made the calculation that more people will be excited at the prospect of a ticket swap and will ride with Kamala from here on out for the next 70 fucking days than feel like, she's just as bad as Joe Biden. Okay, this is good analysis. You should have gone to the DNC, helped them out. Yeah, I should have done that. You're right. My answer to all of that, of course, is obviously Dems outraged Trump without big donors and would activate the Obama for America style door knocker wing of the party. Okay, like if the Democrats legitimately change course on Gaza and legitimately change course on Israel, it would have an insane amount of activism attached to it. Okay, like people who literally would, people who would go out and campaign for the Democratic Party. People will be excited for the Democratic Party. No losses, only W's. Okay? Millennial coded Lamau. There are more people who want a ceasefire, even in the media, than rabid ultra-Zionists. I said Lamau to the anti-Semitism, cynical smears of anti-Semitism. That's like so stupid. If anyone takes that seriously, they are the biggest delusional loser on the planet. Okay? And last but not least, ending the genocide as a reward to all humanity, wins votes, loses none. According to New York Times, CIA and other U.S. intelligence have been working around the clock with Israel, including providing advanced surveillance tech to find Yahya Sinwar. For nearly 11 months, they have failed to find a man confined to a small strip of land Israel's occupying. Interviews with more than 24 officials in Israel and the United States reveal that both countries have poured vast resources into trying to find Mr. Sinwar. We'll talk about AOC on Gaza in a second. Officials have set up a special unit inside the headquarters of Shin Bet, Israel's domestic intelligence service, and American spy agencies have been tasked with intercepting Mr. Sinwar's communications. The United States has also provided ground-penetrating radar to Israel to help in the hunt for him and other Hamas commanders. Maybe the CIA is too woke and gay nowadays, yo. They just can't do it. Well, if they can't find him, they should do the other thing, which is to stop Israel's ethnic cleansing campaign. The preventative strike was supposedly in response to a mobilization of launchers on the border. Hezbollah confirmed they were going to and did attack, but the IDF claims a much larger tactical win than Hezbollah say. The IDF says there were supposed to be 6,000 rockets, whereas Nasrallah says IDF mostly struck empty fields. Either way, both parties talked through mediators and agreed that this round of attacks is over. So no all-out war for now. Pretty much a replay of the Iran attack from April. Isn't he the negotiator now? Why are they trying to kill him? Because they killed the former negotiator. Also, Yahya Sinwar isn't he isn't like the head of the Politburo. He is not the political bureau chief. He is absolutely the fucking head of the military wing. So if they can see through the ground and into the tunnels, why did they ever claim that there was a command and control center? Yeah, this calls into question the American State Department consistently reiterating like Israeli propaganda that we know is just not true. Now it turns out they fucking knew it wasn't true and they just lied anyway. You know? You're wrong. Sinwar is both now. Yes, he is both now, but that wasn't his original job.
60 global press freedom and human rights organizations have signed a letter urging the European Union to take decisive action against Israel for its escalating violations of media freedom and the killing of journalists in Gaza, the occupied West Bank, and Israel. The letter, issued on Monday, calls for the suspension of the EU-Israel Association Agreement and the imposition of targeted sanctions on responsible Israeli officials. Signatures include the International Press Institute, Human Rights Watch, and Free Press Unlimited, addressing EU High Representative and European Commissioner Executive Vice President Valdis. The appeal emphasizes the urgent need for action against what they describe as unprecedented violations of media freedom by Israeli authorities. These are part of widespread and systematic abuses committed by Israeli authorities in Gaza, the West Bank, Israel, and elsewhere, as documented or acknowledged by Israeli, Palestinian, and international NGOs, UN experts, the International Court of Justice, and in a request for arrest warrants by the prosecutor of the International Criminal Court, the letter said. These violations should trigger the suspension of the EU-Israel Association Agreement and further EU-targeted sanctions against those responsible, it was added in the letter. The organizations outlined 8 actions taken by Israel that required an urgent response by the EU, including the targeted killing of journalists, a ban on independent media access to Gaza, and record high arbitrary detention of journalists. Since October 7, 2023, Israel has faced accusations of systematic abuses, including the killing of more than 120 Palestinian journalists and media workers in Gaza, and the arrest and arbitrary detention of at least 49 journalists. If you found this video informative, then make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel for more videos like this, and thanks for watching.